Last week, unfortunately, and this really is tragic, last week may actually not be the craziest week of Donald Trump's presidency. It may be this week in what is effectively the last 8 or 9 days of Donald Trump's presidency leading up to next Wednesday's swearing in of President Joe Biden. There are new reports out about Donald Trump's plans for this week, and it appears as though it is going to be an absolutely insane week from Donald Trump. Donald Trump, of course, now suspended permanently from Twitter, as we will talk about in a little bit. Donald Trump, after denouncing his own vice president last Wednesday, at least as of last night, hasn't even spoken to Mike Pence, and he is considering what can he do in this last week, and every possibility is completely bonkers. Remember that discussion about a possible pardon in advance, a blanket pardon in advance of his own family members? It is increasingly looking like Donald Trump is going to do that in the next 8 or 9 days. Maybe by the time you listen to this clip, some of those pardons will already have started. There is still the consideration of Donald Trump pardoning himself, in fact. And I know that every time I talk about this, people write in and say a president cannot pardon themselves. Remember that we've gone into the legality, the legal scholarship on this. There are divergent opinions as to whether a president can or cannot pardon themselves. But the most important thing is it has not been tested in court ever. And it is certainly possible that a president can pardon themselves. And there is that possibility as well. Trump absolutely furious with Twitter and other social media platforms for banning him either temporarily, indefinitely, or for life, up to and including Twitter, which we will talk about. There is the idea that Donald Trump is looking to do something to big tech over the next 8 days that he has left, 9 days that he has left in office. We don't know exactly what that will be, but it very well may be absolutely out of this world. And then Donald Trump also reportedly planning to go to the border in Alamo, Texas, in principle tomorrow, Tuesday, to make a big deal, I guess, out of his major success of building the wall. Not that at this point I need to remind you, but this is yet another broken promise. Fortunately, it's a broken promise because it was going to be a waste of time and money to begin with. But Donald Trump promised that by the end of his first term, we would have a wall between the U.S.-Mexico border, on the U.S.-Mexico border, across the entire border. And of course, what we've seen are modest improvements to a few, and I'm using the term improvements in terms of what they are called from a construction standpoint, modest improvements or renovations to a few hundred miles of wall. And that is actually something Donald Trump has promised and failed. Mexico didn't pay for it. Trump didn't build the wall, but it's sort of a last salvo. He started by coming down the escalator and telling us Mexico's not sending their best. They're sending the criminals and et cetera. And it looks like we are sort of coming full circle with Donald Trump flying down to Texas reportedly tomorrow to claim that he delivered on that promise as well. So there are a number of different what to call. There are a lot of really bad arguments being made about what should or shouldn't happen over the next week. And of course, as we read about the insane week that Donald Trump has planned, my mind immediately goes to, of course, he should be removed immediately by the 25th Amendment. But that requires the cabinet and Mike Pence to act. Every indication so far, as we mentioned earlier, is Mike Pence is not interested in doing that. So then you have to realize that impeachment must happen. Impeachment must happen. And the fact that we are seeing some right wingers saying it would be too divisive. There are some on the right and left saying impeaching or removing Trump would make him a martyr. He's already both a deity and a martyr to his own people. The committed Trumpist sees Trump almost like a god who can do no wrong and say no wrong. And they already believe him to be a martyr because as far as they see, he's been treated so unfairly by the supposed fake news media. He's been treated so unfairly by the Democrats and all of this stuff. They are crazy and violent already. They are already attacking violently, as we saw last week, because Trump lost the election and neither he nor they can come to grips with reality. So, as I said earlier, if removal is warranted, you must remove. If impeachment is warranted, you must impeach. It doesn't appear as though removal will happen, so it must be impeachment. And as I said before, taking swift legal action against Donald Trump and the insurrectionist riotous terrorists and every state and local Republican member who supported this. That is the best way to stop this movement. The idea of it would be divisive to impeach again, that doesn't stop the movement, my friends. That's a failure. It's nothing. It's not actually anything. Trump should already be gone. And that's why I support another impeachment, which we discussed earlier. Waiting even one more day could spell disaster. Look at the insanity of what he's planning over the next week, and then consider the urgency of what's going on. When you see me sitting here at the microphone, oftentimes I'm wearing a shirt by a company called Teddy Stratford. And I love these shirts so much that I asked Teddy Stratford to be a sponsor of the show. And here's why I like their shirts so much. With other slim fit button-up shirts, you often get this weird looking gap between the buttons where it looks kind of stretched out. But Teddy Stratford actually has a patented zipper that's hidden underneath the buttons, which secures the shirt against your chest so it doesn't look stretched. And most importantly, it just provides a nicer looking fit overall. And the entire shirt is specially designed to really improve the way your upper body looks when you're wearing it. It also has a special type of collar that prevents it from drooping down and spreading open, which is another really great thing about these shirts. All of these things really do a lot to make a big difference when you're looking at a shirt. And that's why I like to wear Teddy Stratford shirts on the show. Go check them out at davidpakman.com/Teddy. The link is down below, and they'll give you 15% off your first order if you use the coupon code PAKMAN at checkout.